All right, hello again, everybody. My name is Mr. Jim. I'm one of the educators here at Woodford Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge, and today I'm bringing you one of our weekly science experiments. We're going to be doing experiments every week with some stuff that you're going to be having around at home. You don't have to go out there and shop anything specifically for it, most likely. So it's something keep you busy for a little bit. Both adults and kids might enjoy it. Some of you may have heard this before. I actually have seen this one going around during our quarantine time, some kind of experiment for people to be doing lately. We're doing our little version of it here. Is going to be making a lava lamp. Now, most lava lamps that you're going to be buying in a store have a mixture of water and a wax inside a sealed container, and they heat up the wax with a really hot light bulb, and most of the wax floats up to the top. It gets cold, it solidifies, and it sinks back down. We're going to make it a little bit safer, because again, that uses a really hot light bulb with some hot wax. We're going to make it a little bit safer here. We're going to be using water, here, some vegetable oil, and some antacid tablets. So first thing you're going to need to do is pick what color you want your lava lamp to be. I have some blue food dye here, so we're just going to drop in one, maybe two. I'll make it really dark here. 2 little drops of our food dye. Any glass container you have will do. You're going to mix it around. You only want to fill it up just about 1/4 of the way with just the water. You don't need a whole lot there. Mix it around, get that color nice and mixed. You then want to take some vegetable oil. You can take the vegetable oil, you're going to pour that in there. You don't want to really dump it in. You just want to slide it along the sides here. And you'll notice that the vegetable oil will float on top of the water. The reason for this is the oil is less dense than the water. So we have that separation of the water on the bottom, the oil up on top. Again, it's because the oil is less dense, so the water is going to sink down and sit on the bottom. But in order for it to make it look like a lava lamp, we need to send little bits of this colored water. Again, in the actual one, it's usually a wax. In our version, it's water. We need to send this water up through the oil to get our lava lamp kind of copy. So very simply, we will just take a little antacid tablet. You can break it up if you want. This one I have 2 little pieces here. So we're going to have our lava lamp. Notice how I left a little bit of space up top here. That's important if you don't want to make a really big mess. So leave a little bit, maybe 1 inch or so, depending on the size of your glass. And you drop it down, and it should sink through the oil. Once it hits the water, it will start to bubble, and give it a moment. It starts coming through. We're going to drop in another one. We'll drop in the more here, and you can see it's starting to work pretty good there. So the antacid is reacting with the water. It's creating a bunch of carbon dioxide. That rises up. The gas, the bubbles, are mixed in with the water. It now makes it less dense. So it actually makes it lighter than the oil, so it's going to bring it up to the top. It's going to come up, and then eventually those little droplets are going to release all of the gas, and they're going to sink back down to the water when it's on the bottom. It'll keep going until the antacid tablets that you put in there will run out. So that's why you can keep a couple there. Once it starts to it might be slowing down, it takes a minute or so. Drop another one in there. If you want a really big reaction, drop a whole tablet in there, or break it up in a bunch of different pieces and drop all the pieces in there. You'll get a whole bunch of little bubbles coming up. Might even have like kind of a stream kind of on here. When you drop a whole bunch in there, you might hear a little bit of a fizzy sound. That's fine. That's what it's supposed to be doing. But that's why you want to make sure you leave that little bit of a gap up there in case it has some really big bubbles, doesn't overflow and create a huge mess everywhere. We have other experiments that'll make a mess. This is not going to be one of them, don't worry. So it's a pretty simple, easy experiment. Like I said, it works because of the different densities of the material. The water is a little bit more dense than the oil, so the water sinks to the bottom. Once we drop in the antacid tablets, it makes that water mixed in with the carbon dioxide, makes it a whole lot lighter, makes it less dense, At that point, it's going to rise up through the oil. Once it rises up, I'll push it over, you can actually see the bubbles up on top of the water here. Once those gases get released, the water droplets again become dense, and then they will sink back down into the bottom. Now, we just chose blue. You can choose whatever color you want for your little lava lamp. I'm going to drop it in our last little tablet here since the package is already open. See how excitable it gets here. It takes a couple seconds for it to start making a reaction, and there we go. Start getting some good bubbles, some good foam in action there. After a while, it might look like the bubbles aren't really flowing down. Just give it a minute, they'll settle, don't worry. Very easy to clean up as well, being it's just water and oil. You just dump it down the drain, rinse it out, glass is good to go. So like I said, nice and simple and easy, something for you to do. A little bit safer than using hot light bulb with some light hot wax, which you can get burned, or the big container up there. Don't have to plug it in, no electricity. Constantly reusable. You can make your own colors, whatever you want. You might be able to try some different oils. Just want to make sure you have things that are going to be less dense than the water. Have the water on top. Like I said, just dye it, whatever. I already had the water dyed before I poured in the oil. You might see some videos of them putting the food coloring through the oil. They'll sink down, mix with the water. Takes a little bit more swirling around there, so I just skip that step, have the water mixed before I put the oil in, but both will work. So that is our experiment for the day. Check it out. Let us know what colors you chose. Let us know how it works out for you. You guys have a good day. Thank you.